What's up, guys? Um, I'm sitting here in my office, and it's a rainy day outside today, and I have a lot of work on my plate. And sometimes, I get into these moods where I feel like the world is kind of crashing around me. And it's not that there's anything in particularly that's wrong. There's nothing specific I can point to. There's just this feeling, a feeling of uneasiness, a feeling of insecurity, a feeling like I haven't done enough. And it eats at me. It goes deep into my soul and rips my heart out sometimes. Because I sit here and I think about the minutes going by, the seconds going by, and how each minute and how each second brings me closer to not being here anymore, to death. And it does eat at me at times. It makes me feel like a lot of my life that I've lived up to this point has been a waste. And it makes me think about the past, and it makes me think about all the mistakes I ever made, and all the things I didn't do that I wish I could. But it's also a good thing because it reminds me of something. I think that every one of us should think about our death at some point in the day, and think about what we're gonna feel like on that day when we have no more life to live, when we don't have an infinite number of days. Of course, it's not an infinite number, but an unknown number of days left on this earth to do what we want to do or to experience this thing we call life. Because when you do that, you realize that there's only finite time left. Think about that. How much stuff have you put off? How many things that you should be doing have you put off? And how much could you have gotten done if you thought about the fact that someday all this stuff around you will be over? I think about that every day. I do. And while it eats at me sometimes because I have high expectations for myself, and that thought has forced me to create high expectations for myself, it's also driven me to do so much. It's driven me to take risks that I probably would have never taken had I just thought of myself as being here forever, like most people do. Most people live their lives like they're going to be immortal. Most people live their lives like death doesn't hang over all of us all. But you lose so much out of life by living like that because you think you can waste days. You think you can sleep in and not get as much work in as you, because you think you have the opportunity to rest. And if I were to tell you one thing that drives me, and one thing that's driven me to do every single thing that I've done up to this point, it's that thought. What am I going to think on my deathbed? I don't care about clothes. I don't care about cars. I don't care about how fancy my house is. And I really don't care about how big my checkbook is, besides being able to put food on the table and to live a happy life with shelter. But I do think about what I'm going to regret in my life. Because up to this point, when I have been mesmerized by the past, it's always those regrets that haunt me. It's always that fact that I didn't do this or I didn't do that in the Marine Corps. It's always that fact that I didn't take this path or that path. It's always that fact that I'm old now. And a lot of those opportunities I had when I was young that I didn't take are gone. So after a while of thinking only about the past, I realized something. I'm still here. I'm still breathing. I still have the opportunity to make the most out of every moment. I still have the opportunity to create something and to build something. And I still have the opportunity to fulfill any other dreams that I had. The question is not about how much you can get out of this life. It's about how much you can do and how much you can create, how much you can build. And it's about how fulfilled you're going to be on your deathbed and how fulfilled you're going to be at that moment when you leave this life and you take your last breath. That's what I worry about. That's what I think about. And it might be a morbid thought, but it's allowed me to do more than I ever did before I started thinking like that. Because before I started thinking like that, I was a fucking asshole. Selfish, drunk, and hurt a lot of people. But now I'm done with that. I'm just here to provide. I'm here to spread knowledge, and I'm here to create value. And this is a really honest vlog. It's hard to talk about this stuff because it's what comes out of my head. But I hope all of you got something out of this. Live life for now. Live life in the present. Think about what you can build. Think about what you can do. Stop worrying about the past. Accept the lessons that you've learned from the past. And allow yourself, free yourself from the idea that you're going to be here forever. And use it as inspiration to do something you're going to be proud of. Love you all. Peace.